Do you want to travel more without breaking the bank? I'm Robin from Minimalism Over 50, and today I'm going to be sharing 20 of my favorite money-saving hacks. My family and I have been discount travelers for the last 20 years, and now my husband and I are empty nesters and are looking forward to travel in the years to come. So here are my favorite hacks, and I'm saving the best for last. Number 1, take a cooler. I shop for cold cuts, bread, snacks, nuts, dried fruit, that kind of food before we leave home. That way we're not stopping for fast food on our road trip, but instead eat from the trunk of the car with the cooler. Then when we get to our destination, we're able to pack our lunches each day instead of stopping and buying food. Shopping for food from the grocery store instead of eating from restaurants almost always saves money. Even when we have been in Europe in the past, it's not a cooler, but it's the same idea. We would go to the grocery store, shop for our lunch, and take it along with us instead of stopping at a restaurant. So number 2 goes along with number 1, and that is consider getting lodging with a kitchen. So there are a lot of hotels that have small kitchenettes, but you can also get an Airbnb. This allows you to shop for and cook your own food. So number 3 is consider your destination. So really think through where you're going. And here's where I want to go with that. So we went years ago to Hawaii with our kids. This was more than 10 years ago. It's been a long time. And everything was so expensive. The food was expensive. Every excursion was expensive. And so this was an either or vacation. Either we take surfing lessons or we take a boat tour. This was not a both and vacation. And so we really had to be thoughtful with everything that we did in terms of spending our money in order to stay on our budget. Now, about 5 years after that, we went to Nicaragua for 2.5 weeks over Christmas. And because it was so much cheaper, we were just able to do so much more. So it was a both and vacation. The whole family took day-long surfing lessons, and we went to the turtle sanctuary. We did zip lining, and we hired a cook to come and cook dinners at night. Because the cost of travel in Nicaragua was so much cheaper, we could just afford to do a lot more. Okay, I give you number 4 with mixed feelings, and that is consider camping. I used to love it, and now I don't. Those of you who used to love it and no longer do, we can feel the feeling together. Our family has camped a lot over the years. A lot of it has been, I was cooperative when the kids were little, and I used to actually enjoy it. It is a way to get a lot of adventure for a lot less dollars. You're cooking for yourself for the lion's share of it, and your lodging is very, very cheap. It's the cost of a campsite. So we have been all over. We went across the country both ways. We have done big trips down to the Four Corners area, Bryce Canyon, Arches National Park, all of that area. So big, fun camping trips that are just so much cheaper with camping. As I've gotten older, I struggle to sleep well, and I just don't sleep well camping. So our family has done both a lot of car camping, and we've done a lot of backpacking as well. Some of our best adventures, well, bar none, our best adventures have been backpacking in the backcountry with our kids. That being said, I'm done with that. But if you're up for it, if you're game, it's a pretty amazing thing to do. And both of our kids are still interested in backpacking. My husband still backpacks. He just backpacks with a friend now instead of with me. Number 5, for airplane travel, plan ahead. For domestic flights, your best deals will come planning 1 to 3 months ahead of time. For international flights, Your best deals will come planning 3 to 8 months ahead. Number 6, and I know that there are many different services to do this. This is the one that I know most about, so I'm sharing it, and that is use Google Flights and set up alerts. You can set up alerts and watch the flights for where you're trying to travel between, and then when the good deal comes on, you'll be able to recognize it and hop on it. Number 7, if you're able, is to be flexible with your dates. This is true for both flights and for accommodations. If you can flex your dates a few days, either way, on either end of your trip, you can really save money, like I said, on both flights and accommodations. Number 8 is also a tip with sort of grounded in the notion of flexibility. If you can be flexible when you travel, in other words, you don't have school-age children and you can travel off-peak times, you can really save money by not traveling that 2 weeks during Christmas and New Year's and then during the summer. If you're able to travel the shoulder seasons, you can save a lot of money on everything from flights to food to attraction. So number 9, decide you're going to be a person who will give public transportation a try. So I will give you a recent example. We went to Austin, Texas in the fall, and we priced out what an Uber was going to be from our hotel downtown to the airport. So the Uber was going to be $40. When we looked into public transportation, my husband and I could walk like an eighth of a mile to the bus stop. And then for both of us, it was going to be $3 to get to the airport. So we saved $37 in transportation fees. We also kind of like the feel of public transportation, of kind of getting a feel for the people who live and work in a town and are taking the bus. So we actually enjoy the experience of public transportation. Number 10 is use travel miles from credit cards. My husband and I pay off our credit card every month, and we do accrue quite a bit of points just from everything that we shop for in the course of our lives. We have used those to take big family vacations a couple of times. My best examples are Mexico a few years ago, and then we also used those travel miles to go to Nicaragua on that trip I mentioned earlier. We have saved a ton of money using travel credit card points. So number 12 is pack light and use carry-on luggage. So it does save you money. I'm going to tell you why it saves money, and then I'm going to tell you a little anecdote about the real reason why we travel this way. So it does save you money in that you don't have to pay any fees for checked baggage. So let me tell you a little story about why we are so adamantly carry-on only. 25 years ago, when my husband was in graduate school in Chicago, we were going back to California for Christmas. So we had these huge suitcases where we each had packed for 2.5 weeks. Coming back home, my husband being a graduate school student, we took public transportation to save money. The trip from the airport to where we lived, our apartment, entailed both a bus and a train. And the bus and the train were both crowded. So we were muscling these suitcases on both a train and a bus. They were also cleaning up from a blizzard that had happened while we were gone. And so everything was cold and slushy and wet. We both got cranky with each other. And when we got back to our apartment, we decided never again. Like, that is it. That was completely miserable. And we decided we never wanted to do it again. So since that time, we are carry-on only for every trip that we take. Number 13 is eat like a local. Figure out where the locals eat and go eat at the same places. If there are crowds of locals, it's a good sign that the food is good and that you're not going to get sick from it. If you can get just a few blocks off the main drag or the main thoroughfare in a tourist area, look for where the locals are eating. You're more likely to get better food for a better price. Number 14 is check out free activities. My husband and I love to tool around on foot. From museums to parks, there's always fun, free things to do, and we love to take advantage of those. Number 15 is book attractions in advance. So in many cases, you're able to both pay less and sometimes you're able to skip lines if you book your tickets in advance. So always check before you leave your lodging. If you're going out to an attraction, check it out ahead of time and see if you can save time and money by booking ahead. Number 16 is look for coupons. A lot of times you can either find through Yelp or Groupon, you can find coupons for where you want to go. I'll also mention that a lot of cities have their own app for discounts. You can Google discount travel to fill in the blank, Nashville, Tennessee, Austin, Texas, Denver, Colorado, and see if you can find an app for that town. A lot of towns do have their own app where you're able to find discounts for attractions in the area. Number 17 is consider overnight travel. So from planes to buses to trains, you can often get cheaper fares by traveling overnight. Number 18 is avoid airport currency exchange. It's never a good deal. It's always very expensive to do this. You're also going to want to check on foreign transaction fees for your ATM before you leave home. Check with your bank and see if there are foreign transaction fees. You don't want to get bitten on the tail end of your trip, finding out how much you paid for each time you got money out of the bank. So Charlie and I, when we travel, we go straight through the airport, and then on our way to our hotel or Airbnb, we look for an ATM that is attached to a bank if we can, where we're able to go to an ATM inside. It's just a little bit more protected. And then we get a modest amount of cash out and then we split it up. He has some and I have some. So we both have cash, but nobody has too much cash. I'm gonna link an article below from the Points guys, and they have a really great article on everything that you need to know as a traveler in terms of taking money out and ATM fees. Number 19 is be thoughtful about souvenir purchases. I'm not saying never. I am saying to be thoughtful and put a limit on it. This does a couple of things for you. It saves you money now by not spending the money. It keeps you from having to schlep things from place to place while you're traveling in your luggage. And it also helps future you from having to declutter the souvenir that you bought on this trip. Number 20, when possible, use Wi-Fi instead of roaming. Check your data plan ahead of time to see what the roaming charges are at your destination. They can really add up. And so when possible, Wi-Fi over roaming. I saved one of my favorite bonuses for last, and that is trusted house sitters. So Trusted House Sitters has been a great value for us. Trusted House Sitters is a service that matches people who need care for their pets and their home with people who are looking to pet sit in an area. So Trusted Pet Sitters is a pet sitting, house sitting website that vets pet sitters ahead of time. And then you can see all the pet sitters who are interested in possibly coming to your destination. And then you can reach out to them and ask if they're interested in pet sitting. You can sign up as a pet sitter, or you can sign up to have your pets sitted. We are signed up for both right now. We have not been pet sitters, but we have had a lot of trusted house sitters come to the house and care for our house and our animals. Now they are vetted ahead of time, and so it's been a really great situation. I can tell you more and make another video if people are interested in what we love about it so much. let me tell you the financial value. First of all, it's been great for our pets. We have 3 pets. None of them are low maintenance. Our cat will stop eating and has before while we've been traveling, so that is not safe. And we have a border collie who's just very anxious. She is a 10-year-old grandmother, and we just call her grandmother. But Maisie is a 10-year-old border collie who is nervous, and having somebody come to the house is just so much better for her. And then our Labradoodle has tons of allergies, so he's on medication. We just don't have any low maintenance pets. So it works so much better for our animals to have a pet sitter come to the house. Now, if we go through another service, we're talking well over $100 that we're paying every night for pet care. With trusted house sitters, it's significantly less. We pay for an entire year of using trusted house sitters, and usually in just one trip. And so I can't recommend it highly enough. Whether you're looking to save money on having your pets cared for while you're gone, or if you're looking to pet sit where you're heading and save money on lodging while caring for somebody's house and pets, it's been a great service for us. My last bonus tip is also one of our favorites, and that is hack your own tours. You can do it. My best example of this was when we were in Mexico a couple of years ago. We were looking at, there's a biopreserve down below Tulum that was going to be like $300 a piece for us to take a tour of. So for our family, it was going to be over $1,000. Well, I looked into how to do it on our own. It's on indigenous Mayan land, so you kind of have to know what you're doing. But we were able to hack the tour and do the whole thing for $100. So it just saved us a ton of money. So when you can, when you're looking at those expensive tours, look at, and you can even Google hack and then the destination. Hack, this was Sianclan. I think I'm saying it correct. It's a Mayan word. So it's a biopreserve down below Tulum, like I said. So you Google hack and then your destination. And usually you're able to see through like a Reddit post on how people have hacked doing that tour on their own. You can do it. It's a great way to save money. So by making some small adjustments and planning ahead, you can significantly decrease your travel expenses without sacrificing fun. If you found value with this video, please leave it a thumbs up. It helps other people find my content. Also, I'd love to have you follow along and subscribe. If you're curious about our family's minimalist journey, you can check out this video right here.